Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
Oh, sister. So the best part of being in the pit is actually coming out of the pit. So, let me explain to you this. So what are we today? Today's Tuesday. Coming off a long weekend here in Canada. Had a holiday Monday, Victoria Day. And dropping off both my boys, daycare and school this morning. So my husband can get his workday started a little bit earlier. And thank you. The school drop-off, right? Is it like this way with your kids' school where it's just like, it's just a shit show? Whoever designed the schools, most of them are older, did not design it around. A lot of people are dropping off their kids. And there's a lot of places cars go. Okay, anyway, side note of that. The pit. Saturday. Was it Saturday? Well, let's kind of first start back. I injured my right hamstring a little bit over a year ago, boxing. If you know anything about fighting, your fight stance is normally you have your left leg forward and your right leg back. And so your right leg, your back right leg in fight stance is kind of like up on your like toes, like the ball of your foot. Okay. And so it's just that constant kind of contraction of the calf muscle, and so and of your whole leg. And so I guess maybe that's kind of sort of where it started from. But I had what we think was a hamstring tear last year, and it was incredibly painful and took a while to heal. And then when I was getting ready to compete in what would have been my first tournament back in February, I had to bow out because I re-injured it. And it was crazy fucking painful. Now, it healed faster, but I was just like, something's going on here. So the last couple weeks, I've started feeling on that same leg, like the hamstring's been okay. Started feeling on the same leg, my calf being really tight. I'm like, this is kind of weird. I'm like, okay, like it was my hamstring. Maybe it's kind of connected. I'm not going to really overthink it, but I'm still training. It's okay. I'm kind of modifying a bit, and I can go pretty hard still with training. Like it's been okay. But it's been increasing. And then when my husband and I came back from Boise about a week ago, we were there at a business seminar, and my ankle swelled up. And I don't know if you've ever had that experience happen to you when you're flying. It happened to me maybe a couple times, right? Where it's just like, just the pressure in the cabin, whatever, traveling. Usually if it happened with me, a couple of days and the swelling, and it's like just my ankle, right? Just my ankle. And so this was my calf, and I was like, my calf is kind of swollen now. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to still listen and kind of keep training a little bit. And then I went, this past week, I trained 3 times with my trainer, intense sessions training. And then I went, my coach Rob has given me a key to the gym so I can go and train during off hours. So I went in Saturday, and when you're training by yourself, I can't do pad work like I'm hitting the bag, it's speed bag, I'm doing conditioning work, like still listen to my body, doing shadow boxing. And then I got home, and probably like an hour later, I started to really feel like calf be tight. I'm like, damn it, like it's really, really like tight and sore. And now it's painful. Now it's hard for me to bear weight on it, and I have to kind of hobble around. So I'm like, okay, so I'm like icing, and I've got some different creams I put on it. And I think was I going in for a float that night? I can't remember. I think I already had a float scheduled for that night. I'm like, great, I'm doing a float. And then the next day, it's still like, it's getting worse now. It's getting worse. It's now coming to my ankle. It's now my foot. Okay. So, but what happened is the day after that happened, so like on the Sunday, I was like, just like really fucking emotional, like really emotional. It felt like just this year, 2018 has been a tough one. There's been a lot of shit going down, personal, business, with kids, with our marriage, like with my health, like just a lot of shit happening. And it just felt like a breaking point. It felt like me breaking wide open. And I felt like this injury was like, speaking to me, because here's kind of the other piece of what's happened. I have another boxing tournament. This is the 3rd time I've attempted to do this tournament, okay, coming up June the 9th. I first attempted in October of 2017. They had no opponent for me. I then trained for the next one in February, and then I injured a hamstring tear. And then here we are with this one, like not even 3 weeks out, and this calf is like so painful and swollen. And I'm like, what the fuck, right? I'm voxing my good friend Jill, and I'm like, Jill, what the fuck? And she's just like, dude, something's happening where it's like, maybe just it's like you don't have to show up to the fight. Like, and it's been such a thing for me to train for the last over a year and a half and to want to compete. It wasn't something I wanted to do right away, but it kind of molded into that. And I was like, yeah, I want to compete. And with the first one I trained for, it's like the physical training, the mental part of it, because it's fighting and boxing is such a mindset game. Like, yes, you got to be in physical shape, but it's more like, where's your head at, right? And so it was so difficult, the first one leading up to. And then I remember the Tuesday night would have been like my last, so the tournament was on that Saturday. Tuesday night's like last day of training, you have a couple days of rest, right, to get ready. And I'm voxing my same friend Jill and saying, you know what, if something ever happened, I didn't even have the tournament, like I got everything I needed. This like whole experience has just been so like amazing, difficult, challenging, beautiful, like, wow, like show me what I'm made of kind of stuff. And then lo and behold, I get a call the next day saying, yeah, we don't have a component. We don't have an opponent for you, and we'll wait till tomorrow. But if we don't have them by Thursday, like, you know, you can't compete. And I was like, oh shit. So, you know, as I'm reflecting on like what happened then, and then happened again in February, and then it's happening again now, where it's like, I can't. And I made the decision. I was just like, this is so fucking painful, and it's now interfering with my life. I could barely like be with my kids this weekend. Like, there is, you know, if you're a mom, like, there's no fucking like, oh, well, just someone else can sub in. No, like, it's my children, and it was a long weekend, and I wanted to do more things with them, and I couldn't. And it affects my mood, and I can't physically move my body, and that's such an important piece of who I am. Like, and affects my business. I can't think well. I'm hurting. Like, it sucks. And I'm like, I just, you know, and when I had this message from my friend Jill, and there's something where she said to it, maybe you don't need to show up to the fight. And I was like, you know what? I'm out. This is not happening. And it's not happening in the future. Like, I'm done with this. I need to really like listen to what my body's telling me. Like, things keep coming up, and just know, whether you're new to the podcast or maybe listening for a while, like, I'm a woman who does what she says she's going to do. I don't make excuses. I don't make reasons. I don't fucking lie about stuff. I am honest, transparent. And, like, I follow shit through. So there's that piece of me which kind of feels like, I'm just like, I'm shit in the bed. Like, I'm not doing this thing I said I was going to do. But yeah, what do I really want? I want to honor and respect my body. That is clearly not going to be ready to do this. And you know, it's interesting. When I signed up for the tournament for a third time, like for this one, there wasn't that same feeling of like, I mean, I felt really ready. I didn't even have as much sparring, but I'm like, I've had so much sparring with the last year and a half. I'm like, dude, I'm ready. Like, just bring on the opponent. I kept joking with my coach. I'm like, if no one shows up for this tournament, there's no one in my category. Like, I'm just going to grab someone off the street. Like, let's go, right? But the different piece of this is also this, is I feel a real softening inside of me. And that masculine energy that's so strong and intense and impactful and is so much part of who I am is now opening up to, not instead of, but in addition to, of just a softer, gentler, quieter. I say some of these words and it's like, am I saying these words? It seems so weird. Quieter energy. Feminine energy, that I almost kind of feel like the fight piece, it doesn't fit anymore. And it's like, perhaps this is the universe, this is the way of universe allowing it to unfold, you know? And so coming back to this whole notion of the pit, like, I was in the fucking pit. Like, Saturday night, I'm just like, I suck. I feel like I'm breaking wide open. I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore. Like, fucking suck. And, you know, I woke up the next day, felt a little better, still hadn't completely decided whether I was going to be fighting or not, but actually I'm going to walk outside. Got here a little bit early in my chiropractic office before my appointment. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to hobble around. This is the other thing. I'm like, sitting does not make it any better. Walking around is kind of difficult, but yeah, it's better than sitting. So here we go. What the fuck was that? My mind's also all over the place with this stuff right now too. So the next day after all this big explosion and this whole feeling, it feels like I'm breaking wide open into something new. It sounds so weird, but very poetic. That's not like my normal way of kind of showing up, but these are the words that come to me. It felt like I was splitting open and birthing somebody new. That's what it felt like. That's what it feels like. And, even some recent images that I had done that you'll see up on social media and for the website and podcast stuff, and you're going to see images of me. They're just like, they're still bold and me and strong and all that, but they're different. I'm feeling this shift inside of me. And I'm feeling a resistance, right? I'm feeling it, but wait a second, but I know myself to be this girl. Who is this chick showing up to the plate? Like, this is weird. So the next day when I woke up, I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I hadn't really decided yet, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this fight. Like, there's just no way. There's just no way. And so I texted my coach, Rob, and of course he was amazing about it. And because I know he's really been working hard with me, and he doesn't pour into his students, I would say, as much. And I know we do private lessons, a little different than the group ones, but he definitely doesn't pour in as much unless, he's doing this for a reason. He sees something in me and he believes in me and he really wants to get me ready to compete. And here we are, number 3, and I'm like, I'm out again. And so he understood all that, and I'll call the event people, let them know I'm like, I'm out kind of thing. But yet, this is still recovering. This is still kind of healing. But I feel myself today starting to come out of the pit. Because even yesterday, so here's the other piece of that. Like, literally, my right calf looks like freakish. I'll tell you something. If you ever think that you don't like the way that your body looks or something, because I still at times kind of look at my legs, and I like bigger legs. They're strong legs, but I feel my legs are kind of big and stuff. But now when I look at my calf, the normal one, compared to my freakishly swollen one, I'm like, yeah, my legs are great. I don't know what my fucking problem is. So if you ever want to have appreciation for your body, just have something like that. Massive swelling and my ankles all cankled and stuff. And so in 3 days from today, I go to Vancouver to do a boudoir shoot. And it's like all these little pieces, right? I'm like, okay, let's get away for a bit of boudoir shoot. And then next week on the Tuesday, I'm supposed to be going to Boise again for another seminar. And I'm like, then I got to fly. And I'm like, listen, I can't even go to that place. But today, driving my kids in the car, playing Trolls, playing music, having fun with them, I feel myself coming out of the pit. I do. I even feel my legs starting to, like, I think it's turning a corner. Like, it was so bad. My husband's like, babe, this could be like a blood clot. And I are both chiropractors, right? So this isn't like we're just kind of throwing shit out there or we have this, fear about stuff. Like, it could be. But I'm like, well, what the fuck are they going to do? I'm like, here's another thing too. So today, as I record this, tomorrow I have a big webinar. I haven't done a webinar for over a year. I've been promoting it like heck. I'm doing Facebook Lives daily. I have to get all the slides together. Because of the boudoir shoot, I have all sorts of stuff I need to get done, like waxing and nails and pedicure, and had my hair done yesterday. But yet now I'm adding in floats each day. I got a massage today, try to heal. Like, it's a fucking shit show right now. And it's like there's a lot of shit on my plate, but yet I feel things turning a corner. And then again, not just physically in my body, but like emotionally. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And I think one of the most amazing experiences of being in the pit is that you get to experience the coming out of it, right? See, we don't understand joy unless we ever experience sadness. We can't experience like just absolute love if we can't experience times where we've just been in a place of fear and contraction, and right? We have to have that yin yang. There's an up and a down. There's a balance to life. And this whole notion of avoiding things, so like, the pit, like you gotta experience that shit. You gotta get down into it. You gotta allow yourself to move through it. I certainly did. Felt like I had an experience with God in the float tank. Again, like not shit that I would normally even talk about or like even believe to be true. Kind of sounds kooky coming out of my mind, but like, dude, the pit has like lessons and gifts in it for you. But it feels like shit. And so coming out of it feels way better. So here's my more tip for you today. Where are you avoiding going into the pit, right? Where you're not confronting something, you're not accepting something, you're not hearing something that you're like, ooh, no, don't want to go there, don't want to go there. So here's what I'm going to have you do is like, just what is one step you can take to start to move into that, right? What's one step that you can take? You know, it could be something like, well, I'm going to journal about it, right? Or I'm going to talk to a good friend about it. Or I'm going to talk to my therapist about it. Or I'm going to do some research. Like, I don't know, something. But what's one step that you can do? Actually, fuck the research thing. The work that needs to happen is inside. It's not outside, FYI. It's not. See, we look for the answers outside so much. But the bottom line of this, sister, is your answers are inside. They're all inside of us. All of them. So what's one step you can do in the next 24 hours to begin to find that answer inside of you, to look within? Sister, a couple of things finishing up. Number one, if you don't already subscribe to the podcast, I want you to go ahead and do so. Subscribe on iTunes, and to make sure to leave a 5-star review as well too, so you can get all the episodes and you can leave reviews. You can help me connect with more women that need to hear this message. Number 2, subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter. I'm going to send you the More for Action Guide, how to start your day in power, and 2 very, very powerful trainings on how to drop your stories and create new ones. So really remember who you are. So that's over at drkarenosborne.com/action guide. And you can also get on the VIP access to everything Women Wanting More. And number 3, make sure to join the sisterhood. This is for powerful women that are like you, that want to have figure out this shit. Like, how do I go through the pit? And how do I figure out what I want? And how do I get clear on why these things matter to me? How do I find my power? How do I heal my marriage? It is difficult, if not impossible, to do this work alone. And so I created the sisterhood so you don't have to. So here's what I want you to do. Head over to drkarenosborne.com/sisterhood and sign up for the first 7 days for just $1, and you get to see what the sisterhood is all about. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more. It's just one step away from me doing this fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.